Part of what they were doing was they were trying to not only indict President Trump, but to create this chilling effect against, so that people wouldn't want to be electors for Trump. They wouldn't want to be lawyers for Trump. I mean, remember, they had a whole separate project where they filed bar complaints against any lawyer who had anything to do with President Trump.
Moving to the country, gonna pick out all the peaches. County's full of beaches, the people wanna be free. I'm moving to the country, gonna pick out all the beaches. Gonna vote on paper ballots, paper from a tree. I took a trip to Cherokee, they had a hand count I could see, and I knew it was for me. I cast my ballot fair and free. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Paper ballots is the key.
All right, dude.
Hey, dude.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Can't see me. I know. What happened to my camera? My camera's got a mind of its own here.
It's alive.
Great. That's alive. Great opening shot. Thanks a lot, new PTZ camera. So yeah, a little music. Try to make some smooth music intros and some segues here to start to kick the show off. I am Real Viking Dude, and I'm sitting here with Tania. We don't have our names up. We should put our names up.
No,
Yeah, here we go.
They want
Boom. Tania, who goes by Shadow TS. We have a show lined up for today talking about the latest in election integrity, specifically targeting Georgia, because Georgia is a huge black stain on the election integrity movement. Well, the movement is strong here, but there seems to be a lot of resistance here in Georgia. And I guess before we dive in, just a quick rundown of what we're going to be talking about. Tanya's put together a great show for you. We're going to learn about from Cleta Mitchell, who you heard in the open there. It was a little teaser. Something you probably haven't heard because it was only available to the people at VoterGA in a call on Saturday. It was a clip, but she's out talking about Arctic frost, and I don't know. Did you stop the music there?
That's all you. I don't know. It's got the music.
I guess I'll
going.
fade it out. It's on a loop. Here, we'll pull it down a little bit. Yeah, I like that little music in the background, kind of for the vibe. But Cleta Mitchell has been all over social media. She's been on programs talking about Arctic frost. And we're going to cover that topic, and we're going to hear more from Cleta about that. As well, we're going to cover the DOJ, Trump's DOJ, that is pressing down on Fulton County. Finally, we're getting some federal help here in Georgia on these ballots that have been concealed from the public, kept away in a dungeon, locked away for 5 years since 2020. And they're just fighting tooth and nail to not bring these ballots out into the open, and we just don't understand that. And third will be the VoterGA press conference recently held last week by VoterGA's Garland Favorito. He has a petition to revoke the Dominion certification, which would, I guess, in effect, nullify. We think. I mean, logic would say it would nullify the results of 2020 if it was not certified. I guess that's the logic. Is that right, dude?
We'll cover that, but pretty much you're on track.
And then our weekly staple is our final segment that is called Free Speech in Danger. And that's where Tania highlights the latest in the attack on our constitutional rights, and the first of which is being the First Amendment and free speech. And we're going to hear what the latest is on that front, because it seems like there's a new free speech challenge every week, and we're all about free speech here. And one of these days, when we get to where we're viewing the chat, we're going to allow you to have free speech on this show. So let's dive right in. Let me pull the music down here, and before we dive into the show, I do want to share my screen here and take you to our social media. So I want to remind everybody that Peaches and Bananas is available on the MAGA Struck channel on Rumble. That's where we're streaming live now. As well, we are streaming live on X, and that is as a Peaches and Bananas X account. It is Peaches 2 Bananas at Peaches 2 Bananas, but it's Peaches and Bananas. Just look for that logo, that beautiful logo, and that beautiful smile from Tania, and you found the right place. And lastly, our shows are also available on MAGA Struck's YouTube channel. So if you get there, you see the MAGA Struck logo. You'll see we have Peaches and Bananas loaded up. We have, we should play the song here at the end because we're also saying that every podcaster should never do one show or one social media hit. Any influencer should never do one social media hit. Not that we're influencers, but without mentioning Tina Peters' name and her dilemma. We need to remind often and every day and as much as possible the injustice going on in Colorado. And maybe we'll play that song at the end of this song right here. Maybe we'll play that at the end of the show, dude. What do you think?
Yeah, and it hits with what Cleta's saying, because she's part of what she's talking about is that there's 400 others that have been persecuted and prosecuted just like Tina has been and have been suffering in similar and different ways.
And the last thing we want to direct people to is our Give Send Go channel. If you want to support the show, but it's really supporting Tania Sosa. Tania she's in a situation where she needs, the show needs support, but Tania really needs our support. Tania needs some financial help. So we have a Give Send Go set up for her. We'll talk more about that, but it's easy to remember. Just go to givesendgo.com/Tania needs our help. Real easy to remember. Just go there and see what you can do to help out Tania. She's recently lost a loved one. She lost her dog. Her best friend in life is gone over the Rainbow Bridge, and we are all in mourning about that. And we need to help Tania out and get through this rough time. And Tania's gonna cry. I probably shouldn't say anything, but it's it's life and it's a story that we're living through right now, and so it's a rough moment. And we're sorry, Tania. We're gonna try to get through the show here. But so help us out. It's givesendgo/Tania needs our help. And I will unshare my screen here and go full screen to the two of us. Take it away, Tania.
Now I need to catch my words. So for the first half, our first portion of the call, we get to highlight the VoterGA Zoom call, and we have a title graphic for that. Viking did that. We get to highlight the different points that were covered on Saturday in the VoterGA Zoom call, and we have. I'm waiting for the.
I don't have a title graphic for that. We were going to lead with Steve Bannon.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Okay, going live and getting a little confused because I had to cry for a moment there. But so we on the call we had Cleta Mitchell, and she talked about, she's been doing the rounds talking about Arctic frost. And that is this Biden DOJ's effort to persecute and prosecute President Trump and a lot of people close to him. And by that, we mean his attorneys, campaign staff, major donors, the Republican electors that supported his option to keep the opportunity alive to be elected should the Congress had decided to investigate the election. And the Biden DOJ, they used state district attorneys to do that. And it's horrific and fascinating how they did that, that all these state district attorneys were in on it. And in Georgia, the big banana was Fulton District Attorney Fannie Willis. And we had Cleta on the call because Cleta knows more about this probably than most people outside the FBI, since she was on the crosshairs of that and a victim of the people that were investigated, very oddly investigated.
Okay, well, before we get into the VoterGA clips that have not been yet released to the public, but tonight you'll get a few clips that it will be. We wanted to set that up with Cleta, who's been making the rounds, but she's been on Steve Bannon just ripping it up and really setting the stage for what this Arctic frost was all about, and it's time to blow the lid on this thing. So you want to hear what she had to say with Steve Bannon? Ready?
Ready.
Had to add Cleta Mitchell. Cleta, you pointed out, by the way, Cleta, they took your name in vain in the Atlantic. We did the cold open at the beginning. Of course, Cleta Mitchell's name came up and he spit on the floor. Cleta Mitchell is in the middle of this. So the left is going crazy. We got about 90 seconds here. I'm going to hold you through the break. You've got breaking news coming off the documents the FBI gave to the to Chairman Jordan today. What are your insights on this?
Just in a nutshell, Steve, you know that there are criminal defendants, victims who are still under criminal indictment in 5 states: Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin. Now, the Michigan judge dismissed the case against the Trump electors. But remember, these were filed as state proceedings. These documents show today all of those indictments, that entire persecution, conspiracy against President Trump, his lawyers, his supporters, his electors, all orchestrated by the FBI, the Biden DOJ, and the Biden White House. They're the ones that did all of it. Those patsy Democrat AGs in Arizona, Nevada, Michigan, and Wisconsin, and our favorite slut in Fannie Willis in Georgia, they were all acting at the behest and as proxies for the Biden DOJ. These are not state proceedings. These are charges that were brought, concocted by the Biden White House and by the DOJ, and it's proven by the documents today.
Well, that's a good setup for moving into the next round of clips that are available, not anyway, but to join the VoterGA call on Saturdays, which we encourage everyone to do. It's important, but that's how you get a lot of information. If you're really into the movement, you need to join VoterGA's election integrity update at 9 o'clock on Saturday mornings. If you have your Saturdays available. I don't, but I listen and while I'm doing other things. It's the way that I get it in and try to stay on top of what's going on so that I can do my part. So go ahead and set this up for us, Tanya.
Yeah, and I kind of buried the lead because I said what I meant to say before, and I should say now that Peaches and Bananas, if you caught me that I called Fannie Willis a banana, it's the name that we have for, so Peaches and Bananas, where that name comes from is that on the Saturday morning call with VoterGA, we focus on Georgia, and that's a peach state. But a lot of what we say kind of sounds more Banana Republic type of stuff, and that's where you get the bananas. And so our fighters are the peaches, and all these people that are standing in the way of freedom and fair elections are the bananas. And Fannie Willis is definitely a banana. Right, Viking dude?
Yes. And we assign a banana or a peach. Tanya is not a banana, but we're just demonstrating here that we, in and week out, when we talk about people, we'll stop and say banana or a peach or a banana, or somewhere in between. Are they a peach banana smoothie? So we want people to be peaches, and peaches earn the peach label, and that's going to be the best Georgians. Those are the ones that want to see our great state rise back to glory, and where the people have a voice, right?
That's right. And Viking Dude and I have been volunteers for VoterGA for a long time. I work for Garland and help prepare the calls. And this is part of the giving you a taste of the lineup of what we covered on Saturday.
All right. Well, I took my camera off here. Let me get back in the room and stage. And you want to go with the first clip here? This is I can't. My tabs are so small I can't read which one this is. This is Cleta talking about.
Well, she's explaining the FBI the Biden FBI investigating.
Okay. Well, we edited these down really quickly. Actually used a little AI to chop this up just to save time. So some of the editing is a little rough, but I think you get the idea. Here we go.
There were over 40 law firms whose records they obtained. They got all of they looked at financial records, anybody, but see that. So now it's not even just the electors. They took that one focus on the electors and used that as the predicate to investigate every. I mean, it's really hard to describe. That's why I think it's useful to just scroll through and look at the subpoenas. I put the link to that in the chat. Just go through and look at all of the names and all of the things they looked at. Records, donor information for conservative organizations, Citizens United, Conservative Partnership Institute, where I'm a senior legal fellow, America First Policy Institute. I mean, just conservative organizations, individuals, leaders, political operatives, campaign consultants, all of the Trump donors and campaign, the campaign manager, the deputy campaign manager, campaign attorneys. They looked at their personal financial information. I was really struck by the fact they subpoenaed my credit reports. Now, why would they be subpoenaing my credit reports? I'm not the only one. Dozens of people's credit reports were subpoenaed.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was this crazy little witch hunt. Hundreds and hundreds of pages. This is, let me see if I can share it, because I missed giving you this link before, Viking Dude. So it's 200 pages of FBI documents that were just released, and there's all the names of people that have been investigated, and it's just completely invasive. I mean, credit reports, really? Oh wait, that's not it. That's not what I meant to do. That's not what I meant to do.
Well, I think you have you have privileges to go ahead and share your screen. So if you've got it up, just share your browser tab, and so we can see what you're talking about. But man, that is amazing. The level of persecution that is happening in this United States of Bolshevism, I guess, right? I hear these stories, and it reminds me, it's eerily similar to Alexander Solzhenitsyn's books. But the one Gulag Archipelago that I read was probably the scariest book I've ever read in my life. Scarier than any horror film or anything. It was Gulag Archipelago. And what Cleta's describing there is very similar as to how things began in the Soviet. Well, it was Russia under the czars, but how it began to transform to the Soviet Union, and just awful, inhumane treatment of people, and just really insidious ways to persecute not only people but or individuals, but if you were a family or friend or in any way affiliated or associated with someone who was being targeted, you were targeted as well. So this is a 5-alarm fire. So we need people to wake up.
Yeah, and to really appreciate it, this is what I meant to share. This is from Cleta Mitchell's X account, and that's at Cleta Mitchell. and she shares the links to the documents in there. She's been following it, and you can see all the names, and just I mean, there's even a reporter that is included in these investigations, and it's we know from a couple of people that it really does destroy their lives to have criminal charges on, because they can't get jobs when they have that in their record. She talked on the call and told us that even in cases that have been dismissed, the people charged still have that criminal history showing up in the background checks. So this is her post, and that link right there. So she links to the document so that you can see for yourself the extent of it.
Wow. Well, when we get time, I get time to read that, I certainly want to check that out. It's hard to read through that in a podcast. So this is more designed to hear from Cleta, which we have more clips lined up. And the next one is Trump's phone call.
Yeah, because for this investigation in Georgia, it really started with Fani Willis investigating Trump's phone call, and even that was bogus. And we'll hear it from Cleta right now.
Well, let's see. I'm not. There we go. Ready? And Trump's phone call. Here we go.
What Fani Willis announced when she first got elected was she was going to investigate the phone call. And I was on that phone call. And that purpose of that phone call had nothing to do with the electors. But if you're wrong, you need to do something, because the wrong person is being certified as the winner. That was the purpose of the phone call. We don't, everybody, all the media says, oh, the president was demanding that Brad Raffensperger find 12,000 votes. No, we'd already found all of them. We just wanted to confirmation and for him to say how it was that he was saying that our data was wrong. The recording of that phone call was illegal because it was made from Florida. Florida is a two-party consent state. In other words, you can't record a phone call in Florida unless you tell everybody on the call that they are being recorded and get their consent, which did not happen. Do you know that she was the first witness in the special grand jury, and she was granted immunity from prosecution for her violation of the law in recording and publicizing that phone call? And they gave her immunity before she testified because she had broken the law.
Well, a lot to unpack on that one. Not to use that cliche, which everybody seems to, but she talks about the phone call and, how the media ran with that story, that Trump was trying to pressure Brad Raffensperger to, cheat. They totally flipped it around, where we now, as she said, they knew then that the votes were there. Matter of fact, we know votes were flipped, and we even know that on the day after the election on Good Morning America, Brad Raffensperger came on Good Morning America and told the entire nation that there's no way that Biden could win. Right?
Right. Yeah. Raffensperger was on some morning
Good Morning
show.
America.
Yeah, and said that there were, I think it was about 100, like less than 100,000 votes left to count, but then came up with 200,000 votes more, something like that. It was an extraordinary number more than that. I think, like back then in that phone call, we had there was data of invalid voters, and we have a lot more data since then, after that we've come up with after that, working with VoterGA. But the VoterGA team has come up with a lot of that, and other friends.
Okay, Will, the next clip is from Cleta from the VoterGA call this past Saturday that we clipped for you. Is called DOJ's Secret Plan. Do you want to set this one up? Or just hear it?
She's telling us what she thinks about why the DOJ did this, and let's hear it.
But I think he at least would know that his political future would be sealed if he brought criminal charges against President Trump and his electors in Georgia. So they have to go to Fani Willis, who supposedly was investigating the phone call, but now, we can expand that, and expand it she did, so that by August of 20, so now there began to be this pressure on these Democrat state AGs in Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Nevada to try to find charges, to get them to bring charges. That's where Norm Eisen, and I'm sure that there are communications from the Department of Justice with these Democrat state AGs to develop a plan to bring these charges in the states. And part of what they were doing was they were trying to not only indict President Trump, but to create this chilling effect so that people wouldn't want to be electors for Trump. They wouldn't want to be lawyers for Trump. I mean, remember, they had a whole separate project where they filed bar complaints against any lawyer who had anything to do with President Trump.
Yeah, so Kathy Latham is one of the people that we know was among them, and yeah, she had to leave the state. She's been unable to find a job. It's just really devastating. I think that, now that that's behind us, in the sense that for 2024, people stood up and doubled down in their support for President Trump, even through the indictments. There were all those pop-up celebrations wishing him well, even as he was leaving to go get his what's it called, the picture that they do when they go to jail,
Mugshot.
the mugshot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that there was this overwhelming support on him, so people they really showed their strength there against all this injustice. But yeah, you really have to feel for the I mean, it's over 400 people that were wrapped up in these fake indictments.
Well, one thing that's not clipped that Cleta talked about in the call, in the VoterGA election integrity update call this past Saturday, was that if she had the money or had a donor, she would like to gather up everyone who's been legally persecuted and has had to produce their own funds for legal defense in the country, and all these episodes, including January 6th, including the Fani Willis 19. I mean, there's people in Michigan. There are other operations in Michigan and in Arizona. And she said that she could fill a stadium, and she would love to, she wanted to rent a concert hall in D.C. and have them all come and have a big party or soiree or something to raise funds to reimburse everybody. I thought it was a great idea, but she said mainly she wanted to demonstrate how many there were. She said she could fill the entire auditorium. And again, it reminds me of Gulag Archipelago. It reminds me of Solzhenitsyn's description of how this began in what was once the USSR, or the Soviet Republic, that began as the Bolshevik Revolution under, I guess, Vladimir Lenin and then Joseph Stalin. This where laws were not obeyed. It was a lawless society, and whoever was in power just came up with their own laws, and the laws that were on the books just didn't matter. And it is scary how we are headed towards that here in this country, and I just never thought I'd ever see anything like that. We have one more clip from Cleta that we've clipped here, so let's get that loaded up and ready to go here. Let's see here. I thought I had it. Here we go.
Yeah, and Cleta, as one of President Trump's volunteer attorneys, she's talking from the perspective of the attorneys, so that's closer to her, and she describes here exactly how some of her peers have been hurt.
Okay, and here we go.
I had 2 bar complaints. I'm admitted in Oklahoma and Washington, D.C. I had bar complaints filed against me in both of those jurisdictions. John Eastman and Jeff Clark had both had disbarment proceedings. Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, Jenna Ellis. I mean, so many lawyers have had to pay legal fees and have been disciplined or had their bar licenses taken away. It's same thing in Georgia. Kurt Hilber, who's a fine lawyer, who was our attorney of record for President Trump in trying to get this election contest. He had 3 years of fighting with the Georgia Bar Association. They finally dismissed it. But what? $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. Jim Troupas, President Trump's campaign lawyer in Wisconsin, had to cash in his retirement. Retired judge, very well respected, longtime attorney for the Wisconsin Republican Party. He had to cash in his entire retirement, take out a mortgage on his house. He's completely flat broke and is still threatened with being jailed because he was Trump's lawyer in Wisconsin. Their goal was to completely destroy the MAGA movement by imprisoning President Trump and jailing as many of his supporters as they possibly could. And so I think that, to me, Sean Davis, is the publisher of the Federalist, said last week that this is the largest political scandal, constitutional crisis scandal in the history of our country.
Wow, those are big words. That's a big accusations, big charges, but I think she's right. It is the largest political scandal.
Yeah, I don't think that's hyperbole at all.
It's not hyperbole at all. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, at least discovering this is horrendous, but it's kind of like the good guys are in office now. It was released for a reason. And
well, I guess we had that awkward silence because I had a thought during that, and then I lost it. It fluttered away, and then it just fluttered back, and it landed here. We see this now. We see this kind of this blaming everything on the Democrats, and it was the Democrats who were in office. It was the Democrats who were on the I guess the I want to say the winning side of all that lawfare and cheating and everything, but it really wasn't the Democrats alone orchestrating it. There's a greater plan that just involved the Democrat Party as the party that was in place, that was in play to put the steal in and begin to steal the country over time. But it seems like there are people in both parties. It seems like a uniparty because you can see how much a lot of the establishment Republicans just hate Trump and are fake MAGA. And it's something that people have to wake up and realize that this is not just Democrats, right?
right, I mean, we saw that in January 6th because Kelly Loeffler promised to stand up for President Trump and his right to have this questionable election evaluated, and she completely flaked. So she is permanent banana in my book for that.
Well, we don't have a picture of her to put up a banana, but I'll throw up a banana over me. I'll receive this banana on behalf of Kelly Loeffler. Okay, so all right, let me share this tab here, and so that marks the last of our clips from the VoterGA call this past Saturday from Cleta Mitchell. It was absolutely fascinating. Again, we encourage everyone to go to VoterGA.org, right? VoterGA.org, and get involved there. Put in your information. Yeah, they want to know who you are. They want to send you some emails. But that's going to entitle you to attend. That's going to entitle you to get the information and be able to sign up to attend the calls on Saturday mornings. And I'm telling you, there's no better place to stay on top of what's going on with the election integrity movement.
Yeah, there's no spam. The emails are information, and to inform you of what progress there's been and any events. And we don't sell your data, I promise.
Hey, dude, you know the camera that's filming you is above is not the one you're looking at. Like if you look up at the camera, there you go. Now you're looking at the audience,
Okay.
dude. There we go. Finally, finally. All right.
All right.
I had the same issue. My camera's a little bit higher than my screen, and I'm looking down most of the time. And I'm trying to make an effort to look up and look out.
Okay, there's a suggestion that I have for next time.
Yeah. Well, for the rest of the show,
Okay.
just give us a
Okay.
look-see up here every now and then, okay? So we can
All
see your
right.
beautiful eyes. All right. So that's the end of that segment, dude. Do you want to roll into segment 2 here? Segment 2 is
Another piece of big news that we've been wanting for help because the struggle has been very real in Georgia with a lot of obstruction for getting records. There's investigations that were done, that we have done, and I say we because I am part of the team that has worked in getting and analyzing that data, and we get told that we're wrong. So we're saying, okay, show us. And one of the cases here is that we've been after the 2020 ballots. It started with a lawsuit that Garland, one of the Garland Fulton County ballot inspection lawsuit, and he even had the judge unseal the ballots, and they're working that out until that case got. Oh, long story. I don't want to get into the case because that's another. it'll make this segment a lot longer, and we can talk about that another time. But because we want to talk about the DOJ intervening and demanding that Fulton County comply with the subpoena for the 2020 ballots. And here's a screenshot of, not a screenshot, a post of that news. And the story behind this started with the state election board has been requesting 2020 election records for a long time too. It started as part of their investigation with SCB 2023-025. Garland calls that the most important complaint in SCB history. And the story behind that is that it is a case in which, and it's a case in which they presented that there's over 7,852 ballots that don't have ballot images. So what the data that we get to see from the counties are ballot images, which are a receipt that.
Sorry.
It's all right, dude. It's a receipt that the voting machines make of all the ballots. So we requested the ballot images, and there's over 17,852 ballots that are missing. And there's also 3,125 double scanned ballots among those ballot images. So the case was submitted in 2023. There was a hearing in May of 2024 for it, where the investigators from the Secretary of State said, there's nothing to see here. So if you want to hear all about that case, there's that video that Viking dude was showing you. Garland Favorito shreds 3 years of Fulton County and Georgia Secretary of State election lies in 15 minutes. And so
let me back out so people can read the title down here. Yeah, there it is. So you just got to go to voter. Well, you give VoterGA has a Rumble channel called VoterGA. You can go find that, but just there are some keywords you can type in to search for it on VoterGA's Rumble channel. Tanya could give you the link, but I mean, do you have it typed out to where we can show it on the screen? I guess probably not.
I don't have it typed out, and Rumble links are not friendly, but I can provide that in the description box or the comments below the video. And that's a presentation that Garland did in July of 2024 to the state election board. Then after that, on election day of 2024, the state election board subpoenaed several election records, including the ballot images from Fulton County and other voter history files, I think it was. And not voter history files, that's publicly available. I meant the voter list and chain of custody forms, and Fulton County did not comply.
Well, Cleta Mitchell is chiming in on this topic on Steve Bannon as well. We have that one queued up. Do you want to hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they've heard nothing. And so yesterday, Harmeet Dillon said, we are going to come, the Department of Justice is going, she is the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights in charge of the voting section. She's been terrific and very aggressive because she's an election lawyer. She knows what she's talking about. And she sent a letter yesterday to Fulton County with a subpoena. We're subpoenaing these records. We would like for you to produce them to us voluntarily. And so now we're going to see what the Fulton County Board does. And I just have a feeling that no more playing around, that Harmeet Dillon is not going to let them get away with continuing to try to thwart the ability of the Department of Justice and the people of the United States to be able to get to the bottom of what happened in Georgia in 2020.
Why is
Okay, it's a 7-minute long video, so we should probably cut in here when there's an opportunity. But there's Cleta again out there in front of the cameras and making the rounds, just letting everybody know that it's the day of reckoning is coming for Fulton County. And it's been a long time. I mean, I still won't believe it till I see it. I've got to find my friend Roy Hambrick, who has a podcast called Small Town Underground. I've got to pull up his tweet or X post, I guess, and get that going. But yeah, so what do you think? Anything else on this, dude?
Yeah, well, I was just going by. Sorry, I lost my place a little bit because I was going over our list because we had, so the state election boards requested records in last year, ballot images, which are public records from Fulton County, and they did not produce them in the voter list. Then in September they met again and requested more records since Fulton County didn't produce those, and now they're asking for the physical ballots, which are public record now. They've been unsealed. So, and they want the ballot envelopes from the mail-in ballots to corroborate how many mail-in ballots were sent. And so we are really grateful that the DOJ has stepped in, because there's been this showdown with Fulton County not complying.
And who are these people in the photo here, just so people can know? And it might be a pizza or banana opportunity, so we'll get that ready to go.
Oh, well, that is Janelle King. She is and in the middle with her head down is Dan Johnston. Those are the two Republican board members in the state election board. Jen Johnson's actually the vice chair of the state election board. And the gentleman there is a previous director, Mike Cohen.
So peaches or bananas?
So they are all peaches. definitely all peaches. And the state election board, their job is to oversee the elections and see that all the counties are following the rules and doing the elections as they should be.
I'll give
So
myself a
it's
peach here while we're at it. Here, peach. Okay.
well, good, because you gave yourself you took a banana before because I didn't have a picture of Kelly Loeffler.
Right. So I did find the post from my friend Roy Hambrick, who has a fantastic podcast on Wednesday nights and Sunday nights, and where he's interviewing the MAGA roots in Georgia, and he's interviewing the MAGA candidates and the people who seem to be the peaches. It seems to be a peach podcast
Yeah.
like ours. It's called Small Town Underground. But I just want to pull up now. This is Roy's response to the video that we just saw from Cleta on Steve Bannon, and let me just give Roy some promotion here. I love his writing, so let me go full screen here and just read this aloud. This is so funny for me. About 5 years now, Fulton County has been giving the middle finger to the country, defying every single court order, judgment, directive, and hiding these fraudulent ballots. And the whole time we've had a Republican majority. Think about that. The whole time we've had a Republican majority in the state. That's my point that I was trying to make earlier. It's not Democrats, just Democrats. The governor, attorney general, secretary of state are all Republicans. The whole time I've been down to the Capitol numerous times and been told by a majority Republican state house, have been told that the majority of our representatives won't even talk about the election fraud. They don't even want to talk about it. They run when you try to corner them on the topic. Our own Governor Kemp, threatened this past session not to bring up any election integrity bills or else. I forget what that was, but it was something along the lines of people would be primaried. He would get them primaried. It didn't matter who they were. It didn't matter what party they were in. If they brought up an election integrity bill, he was going to work to get them primaried out of their seat at the State House. So Roy goes on to say, yes, this clown show continues. And now these same people are rooting around all over Georgia, bragging that they're MAGA and America first and election integrity, blah, blah, blah. But still, Fulton County sits on its high throne, laughing at all of us. This is truly despicable. Great post, great tweet there from Roy. Right? Right, dude?
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
So that brings us to the end of our second segment, and we can move on to segment 3 here. This takes us back to Garland Favorito. This past, Thursday last week, he put on a press conference, a presser from the MIMS Museum of Computer History.
Technology and art.
Technology and art. Okay, sorry. It used to be the Computer Museum, the Atlanta Computer Museum, but so technology.
It
and
used
art,
to have a great name, Computer Museum of America,
Yeah.
and now it's the MIMS Museum of Technology and Art, because there's a family MIMS that I guess contributed and enough to change her name, and it's not the brightest move there because Computer Museum of America was a pretty great name. But hey.
Well, Garland, it's too bad they changed the name. I wonder if they changed the name when Garland would always say in his prior press conferences, and here, let's just pull up Garland here at his press conference. Oh, crap, there we go.
we wanted to retire the voting computers. The Dominion voting computers.
Thank you for beating me to the punchline there, dude. That's what I was about to say. I appreciate that, man. You just stepped right on my punchline. But that's what Garland's his joke was. It's ironic that we're here at the Computer Museum of America doing a press conference, and what we would like to see on the exhibit floor out there, where they have old PCs and old Macs and old servers, and every kind of a computing thing you can imagine, microchips and they have a bowl that's completely a bowl, like the Wall Street bowl, but it's completely made out of microchips. It's really cool to get your picture with it. Yeah, the kids really love going to this place. It's a great place. But he makes the joke that, yeah, he's like, we want to see the Dominion machines in this place.
Yeah, I told him that joke.
That was your joke.
That was my joke. That's why I get to say it.
I'm so sorry. I never knew that was your joke. All right. Well, I'll give myself a
A lot
banana.
of people don't know.
I give myself a banana for that. It's faux pas. All right.
It's all right. We're all a team. I'm working with, so we get to work with Garland and give him ideas. And
Well, did you want to hear just a little bit of the
jokes.
beginning of this? Just Garland introducing the press conference. You can find this press conference at VoterGA's Rumble, and you can find it on their Facebook and X and YouTube pages. Is that right?
I need to ask Garland if he wants me to upload it on YouTube. He's careful about what we put on YouTube still.
Okay. Well, do you want to hear a little bit of this?
Yeah, let's intro the press conference.
So as Tamara here is said today, we are here to announce our petition.
Can't
to
get it any
vacate
louder.
The Dominion certification. This is of national significance. In Georgia, we use the Dominion Democracy Suite 5.5A system, and we are very pleased to join with the DeKalb GOP in this effort. And we're looking forward to hearing from Dr. Kendra Bogalski in just a minute or two. So first of all, I want to get into this a little bit more about what is the EAC, the Election Assistance Commission. The Election Assistance Commission was formed in 2002, and its mission, as you see on the screen, is that, first of all, it's an independent bipartisan commission. It's a federal commission, and its mission is to help election officials improve the administration of elections and help Americans participate in the voting process. Now, this mission was established in 2002, and you notice that there is nothing about security in this mission statement. So my first question would be, is it time to update the EAC's mission statement, given in that the last 20 years plus have been focused on the issues of cybersecurity in electronic voting systems?
Yes.
This was before electronic voting systems were installed.
Let's do it.
As we mentioned and Tamara mentioned that we have this petition to vacate the Dominion Democracy Suite 5.5A certification. We are asking the commissioners specifically to vacate the 2019 certification in its entirety by November the 20th of this year. We filed this complaint on October 24th, I believe, originally, and we have made an amendment that Dr. Bogalski will mention to you in a little bit. We're asking the executive director specifically to vacate that certification, and in the interim, we're asking that until they can get that done, to amend the original effective date, put it out to 2027, until they can get that certification vacated. Well,
Okay. This brings me to where I want to ask you, what will that do if the certification is vacated?
Well, what that does is that we've made a lot of arguments. So there's all these legal cases that have been stalled, and all these people that have been indicted for challenging the results of the 2020 election. So if the certificate, so part of the conditions of how it works, of what is that that your system is certified. So if they revoke that certification, it means that we voted on the system that was not certified. So all those arguments of the election results being questionable all there's no argument against them. So all of us that have been saying, here's evidence of how Georgia's results were not right. They get to I'm sorry, Viking dude, I need to pause a minute. I'm losing my words.
Okay. Well, that was that was the end of that segment anyway. But what
Yeah.
what we're wondering is this like a long shot? I mean, are we like throwing a Hail Mary here? I mean, is it?
Well, the thing is that so Garland presents how we've learned that the standards for certification were never met. So in order for the system to be certified, it needs to be secure. And we found that the keys to the system have been out in plain sight and have never been changed. But the certification rules are that the keys get to be changed every year, and that only the people that need to know them get to see them. Yet they're
Makes sense.
Yeah. So VoterGA made some open records requests, and those keys were printed on them in plain sight. And that's one of the pieces of evidence that we have out of that. And Garland shows a demonstration of what exactly the kind of damage that can be done when a hacker has those keys. And there was a demonstration done in a court case, and that's that DeKalb versus Raffensperger case from last year that shows how there's a demonstration that with 6 lines of code, they can completely change the results of an election.
Yeah, well, back on the encryption key thing and how insecure it is, I did find that part of Garland's presentation. You want to roll that just a little bit? He talks about how you can buy the shirts on Amazon, and is that something you want to hear? It's
Sure,
got it
let's
right
play it.
here. Okay, here
Go
we
ahead.
go.
But in addition, the system has unsecure password design, according to the experts. They said that passwords are not irreversibly hashed, so therefore they can be decrypted. That is why the encryption keys are so important. The passwords, normally in most systems, a password is hashed, and what we mean by that is it's irreversible. The password is coded up and it's put into a database, and there's no way to reverse it. Once it goes into the database, it can only be changed with the appropriate authorization. So even the computer programmers can't read that back if it's correctly hashed. But if it's encrypted, it can be decrypted, and then you can have the passwords. And this is a security problem that I think Mr. Parikh testified to, and possibly Mr. Cotton as well. In addition, the administration password, one of them, is hard-coded when delivered, according to their testimony, and the password, we know, has not been changed since the system was delivered in 2019. It's the original admin hard-coded password, and now everyone seems to know this because you can go out and buy the apparel of your choice with the Dominion password located on your chest, depending upon what shirt you may or may not want to buy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we part of the VoterGA group every Saturday is one woman I know is Amanda Prettyman. There's another woman in a famous photo. What's her name? With Kemp, that photo. Do you remember her name?
I don't know her name.
Oh, I can't think of it either. I'm so sorry if you're watching
But
this. You probably aren't, but
I did want to answer your question.
Okay, but
from
I just
earlier.
want to finish that story real quick. There's a famous photo with these two women wearing the hoodie with the password to get into the Dominion system, and they're standing there with Governor Kemp and his wife Marty, and Governor Kemp and his wife Marty are flanking them on each end, and they're smiling. They're all smiling for a picture, and they have the password written right across their chest, and it was a gag that the Kemps didn't know about. And they published this on social media and said the Kemps don't even know that we're wearing the password to get into to hack into Georgia's Dominion election systems. And it was just amazing. It was a moment in time. It was like, you've got to be kidding me. This is how insecure our elections are. So go ahead with your story, dude.
Oh, just that to answer your question a little bit better from earlier. So if the certification is revoked, it makes a case for everyone that's been saying that Georgia's election results from 2020 were not reliable. So all the legal cases and everybody that's been indicted, it just makes her case that they're right to have questions on those results.
All right. Well, let me get a little music going here. We're gonna go to our. That's not the music I wanted. Sorry. It was. I don't know which one it was. Here, we'll just play this one. All right, our final segment of the night, segment 4, a segment that we do every week that Tanya is especially endeared to because she's lived through a lot of issues from her home country, or it's part of the USA, but it's a territory in Puerto Rico. So she is all about this topic here. Is free speech in danger? Take it away, Tanya.
Yeah, so with all the discussions that we have on Arctic frost, I can't say that word. It's the government suppressing thought, suppressing everybody that wanted to question an election. And so it's horrible for free speech that they've pursued that. And I want to talk to you about that, Viking dude.
Go for it.
Yeah, well, I mean that's exactly what they're after. They were making it so that people would not want to speak, would be in fear of questioning an election because, if you have figures like, Rudy Giuliani, people that were well known and close to President Trump, it's an effort to alienate supporters from President Trump, to silence the MAGA movement. And just seeing how, because you think that the district attorneys would be, I mean, it's supposed to be, justice is supposed to be blind. There's supposed to be, a guardrail, one of the checks and balances there, and for that to be broken and just go along with the executive desire to shut down political opposition, it's I mean, it is. It's one of the most horrendous things to happen, and to know, like President Trump's, who was it? His advisor that was put in solitary confinement to get him to speak and try to get dirt that where there wasn't any. Things. Yeah.
Sorry, dude. I'm trying to find our Rumble channel here, so you're gonna have to keep filling some time here. So I can't multitask. I can't talk and find a site at the same time. But I mean,
Yeah.
it brings me again back to how the rules for radicals, the Bolshevik Revolution, anytime communism has moved into take power in the country, it always begins with the attacks on speech,
Yeah.
They want to squelch the dissent. You know.
Well, I don't have to go to Russia because I can give you an example in American soil. In and when I say Puerto Rico, I know that people roll their eyes because what is that even? But Puerto Rico is U.S. soil. It is a U.S. territory, and something that happened in the 50s is that the United States government wanted to silence the Puerto Rican independence movement. And what they did is that they opened FBI investigations on anybody that said anything remotely patriotic of Puerto Rico. Maybe patriotic's not the right word, but just complimentary of Puerto Rico. If they said anything, sang positive songs, drew pretty pictures. So the artists were really persecuted for saying anything positive about the island, and people were not allowed to have bank accounts or not allowed. They were fired. So anybody associated with with those people that were identified as being too much pro Puerto Rico and suspected of favoring Puerto Rican independence were some of them were jailed, but there's anybody that was the relatives were investigated too. So anybody that was seen helping those people were also investigated, and what that meant in their lives is that they couldn't hold jobs because then their employee would be investigated too. So any connections were forcibly severed by this persecution, and that was one of the first things that came to my mind when I was seeing what was happening with the J6ers.
Yeah. Well, that was a huge example right there. I was in D.C. on January 6th. I stayed out of the building. I watched from a distance, but you could see that you could tell that there was something underway that we didn't really know what was coming down the line, but we just knew something didn't smell right, something didn't seem right. And later, immediately after that, we learned what was happening. They were gonna throw us all in jail. I mean, they want to throw us all in jail. They want to take us out of play. And those who love our country and love our principles, love the life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness to begin with. It seems like that's not available for everyone. So that they only want it to be available for a select few. And so there's a lot of work to do. We're not giving up. I think we've gone on long enough. Do you have anything else to talk about there, dude?
No, we can wrap it up, Viking dude. I think that we're good.
All right. Well, do we have an outro video? I think we do here. So let's just go ahead.
We have the PNB close.
The PNB close. Well, thank you for joining us. Again, I want to remind everybody about our social media, and let me get this loaded up here. Just go check us out, MAGA Struck channel. It's on Rumble. A lot of really cool videos there. Go. Oh, yeah. We were going to play this. We can't forget Tina. We've got to play this. Do we have time? We're way long. Well, why not go longer? Nobody's watching.
Good.
Well, I'm looking at the chat, and I'm on the Rumble right now. I don't see anybody. So we might as well get it in there. I got to practice what I preach, right? Let's play
Absolutely.
it. Oh, not hearing it. Some platforms and
there it is.
Hi, my name is Viking Dude. In some platforms and Thai GT. We'll go out with this, dude, instead of the close. I wrote a song together with a woman from Puerto Rico named Tania Sosa about Tina Peters, and it's for Tina Peters. This deals with free speech. This is a great free speech closer today. Thank you for listening.
It was sunset in Colorado, mountain canyons losing their light. In a county known as Mesa, there's a woman shone so bright, she glowed of gold. Ooh, she glowed of gold. She cried out for truth against the schemes of that night, but they conspired to silence her. They locked her away in prison for 9 years for doing her job, looking out for the voters of Mesa. Cause they want her fire to die. Ooh, for a fire to die. In those corridors there's whispers, secrets under lock and key. But with her faith and her righteous courage, she wouldn't break, wouldn't bend that knee. And they called her a heretic, 'cause she's a threat to their reign. But she speaks out for our liberty. Isn't that amazing? She speaks out for our liberty while she sits in prison. And while her heart weeps in pain, ooh, while her heart weeps in pain, you got to get on board with saying her name every day, podcasters. All you freedom-loving podcasters and MAGA influencers. You got to say her name every day. Don't forget her. How about you, Donald Trump? Don't forget Tina Peters. She's right here, a hostage in your own backyard, bro. Mr. President, bro. 'Cause she's the lantern, revealed the hidden key. She opened up the black box, and it's no longer mystery. And now the plot of the desperate tyrants is unveiled for all to see. And though they cage her in the shadows, their lies won't go unseen. No, 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 no. The bell she strikes rings loud and beckons freedom's fame. And our fight for her goes on, so the world may know her name. So just set her free, set Tina free. I set her free now. In the cold white glare of her prison, as despair stares her down in her cell, you know her words so past Grand Junction, and they pull back Denver's wicked veil. The justice system is flawed, that judge twisted the law. He's hiding something so sinister. His time is done. Their day will come. You know why? 'Cause Tina. She's the lantern, revealed the hidden key. She opened up the black box, it's no longer mystery. And now the plot of the desperate tyrants is unveiled for all to see. And though they cage her in the shadows, their lies won't go unseen. No, 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 no. And the bell she strikes rings loud and beckons freedom's fame. And our fight for her goes on, so the world may know her name. So just set her free, set Tina free. Oh, set her free now. Yeah, sing for her and her fearless fight. For those who speak with the light. For the lady shone like the sun when the world turned to night. And Tina's name has just begun now. She should be free right now. Sing for her and her fearless fight. For those who speak with light. For the lady shone just like the sun when the world turned to night. Tina's story has just begun now. She should be free right now. Tina's story's just begun. It's only gonna get bigger. And she's gonna be a spark to the movement for freedom. A true hero. Set Tina Peters free now.
All right, well, that was that.
Good job, dude.
You had something to add here, dude.
Yeah, just kind of like thinking about free speech. It's that, there's this, that, I mean, it's really an attack on MAGA, what we saw in this release right now that Cleta was talking about. But, we've seen some of that coming from the right too. Like, for example, after Charlie Kirk died, that anybody that celebrated his death, even though, that tells me what kind of person they are, people have, they're encouraged, that, there are tweets by President Trump and Penn Bondi about persecuting hate speech, and then, can you define hate speech, and that slippery slope on where you need to have to protect dissenting voices, and seeing from the right that some of the same things, that same spirit, maybe not to the extent of what the Biden DOJ did, but in President Trump's executive orders, he asked for canceling contracts of attorneys that were representing his political opponents, and asking for investigations of those firms. So there's a spirit of doing the same thing, and that's something where you kind of don't want to match. Two wrongs don't make a right is what I'm trying to say there when it comes to free speech.
Very well said. Hey, dude,
Yeah?
do me a favor.
What's that?
Look at the camera up above the computer and give me a smile when we're going to close it out, right? Ready?
All right.
Anything else to say, dude? Look up here. Look up there. Anything else to
That's
say?
all. See you next time.
All right,
See you
here we
next
go.
week.
And we're
I'm moving to the country, gonna pick out all the peaches. County's full of beaches, the people wanna be free. I'm moving to the country, gonna pick out all the beaches. Gonna vote on paper ballots, paper from a tree. I took a trip to Cherokee, they had a hand count I could see, and I knew it was for me. cast my ballot fair and free. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm moving to the country, gonna vote for all the peaches, gonna pass on those bananas, those swampy politicians. Yeah, I'm moving to the country, gonna vote for all the peaches, not falling for bananas or the tailpipe trickery. I went up to Forsyth County, they had a hand count I could see, and I knew it was for me. No bananas in their tree. I travel all over the state. Georgia people are irate. They want a vote that they can trust to cast the ballots fair and free. Yeah. Well, I'm moving to the country, gonna call on all you peaches, gonna pass on those bananas, they're hiding in the peach tree. Moving to the country, gonna call on all the peaches, gonna save our free republic. Paper ballots is the key. Yeah, paper ballots is the key.